Please welcome for the keynote address, the highest-ranking Greek American in the U.S. Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Andrew Poppas.
Yasu File. Your Eminence, what an honor to be here with you. Senator, it's good to see you again, Congressman, to share the stage with you. And I want to say good afternoon to all the ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to Andrew and Mike Monatos for allowing me to be a part of this celebration ceremony today. And I find events like this are extremely important as we reflect on our shared history and those defining moments that amplify where we came from and who we are. Over the past 9 years, it has become a tradition to gather together and commemorate and recall the events of 28 October 1940 and the war-torn times that followed. For me and to all Greek Americans that have served in uniform, it's the indomitable warrior spirit demonstrated by the Greek army and the Greek people themselves that are an example that we routinely draw upon. And I think it's fitting that we celebrate here at the World War II Memorial. It's an appropriate tribute to the greatest generation of Americans who fought and made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our values and our freedoms. And those are our ideals and ideas that originated from the philosophers of ancient Greece. And it's the Allies' victory in Europe that changed the course of human history by spreading democracy to the four corners of our earth and forged the international rules-based order that we enjoy today. But this may not have been possible without the courage of Prime Minister Metaxas. He courageously denied Mussolini's Italian forces free passage through Greece and prevented their occupation of the key strategic locations throughout the country. Metaxas, representing the courage and the strength of his people, rejected the fascist demands and prepared his country for war. I could describe the details of the flight. I've looked at the order of battle of both the Greeks and the Italians. I could try and attempt to capture in words what those Greek warriors of 79 years ago faced. It's the bitter cold of the steep Pindus Mountains. It's the crackling of rifle fire, the barrage of artillery. It's being cold, it's being wet, it's being hungry. It's the fear. It's the loss of life of your friends. It is the crucible of combat that they stood against. More broadly, it'd be easy to address the historical significance of the battle, sharing how the Greek warriors of a small but proud country blunted the Italian offensive, drove them back into Italian-held Albania, and we forced Nazi Germany to send the reinforcements to break the stalemate. And in doing so, it was the strong resistance of our warrior Greeks that delayed the planned German invasion of Russia. And it was for over 2 months. And in doing so, it changed the outcome of the war itself. These details are very familiar to all of us of Greek American descent. As they passed down through generations, they've been captured in the history of the yellowed archives. But today, Oshi Day has become a very spiritual touchstone. It's a name that has become synonymous with the intangible traditions and those virtues of the Greeks all around the world. Those are the virtues of courage, loyalty, self-sacrifice. We gather today to remember, to honor, and to draw inspiration for those who embodied these virtues. Veterans like Vasilios Hasiotis. Harry, I know you're proud of him. His great-grandfather. Soldier back in World War I who marched with Blackjack Pershing. Could speak both Greek and English, ferrying orders to those that were executing the missions. Undaunted as steel and shrapnel penetrated his body, or his lungs were seared by mustard gas. He continued to fight, and he left that war a hero, and we're honoring him here today. We're also here to remember the incredible duty and honor and sacrifice of Alex Spanos, committed to serve his country also in World War II. He served as a B-29 gunner on a bomber as they patrolled the east coast of the United States hunting for Nazi submarines that were interdicting the lifeline transport from the United States to Europe. And we're also here to recognize the courage demonstrated by all Vietnam pilots, but especially John Calamos. Over 800 combat hours as a forward air controller with direct close air support to troops in contact. Having been in contact, that is a lifeline for those in the fight, and over 800 hours putting his life on the line. A true hero. The honorees today, they represent all Greek Americans that have served in the armed forces from the wars of the 20th, 21st century and continue to serve in uniform today. There are so many soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that have proudly followed in the footsteps of Hasiotos, Spanos, and Colonel Kalamos. They continue the legacy of valor and courage of Greek Americans. These traditions, they run through the blood of all the Greek Americans. I recall as a young man the story that my fathers told me as I grew up. They echo today, and they have carried me through in combat, from the tenacity of Leonidas that we all know and the stories bear forward, to the standing in defiance of Axis aggression of Metaxas and forward. The Greeks have always been unbowed in the face of adversity. They have guided and inspired me during times of contact, combat, and direct face of the enemy. I draw strength from the blood that runs through this body. These examples are the overwhelming spirit and are what we honor today. We should never forget the sacrifices made by the Greek warriors and all those who have shouldered the burden since. And if we do that, we have fulfilled the purpose of this day. Thank you again for the distinct honor of joining you this afternoon. God bless you all.